Okay, in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I write songs. And even if you know three chords, which I'm going to use in this example, I actually don't have any song idea or anything like that, but I'm going to just use the three chords and I'll show you how I write songs. I wrote many of songs like this. The first thing is that this isn't the only way. This is how I write like 80% of the songs. So if you're interested in learning about how to write a song, or if you're a music critic, just leave this video, watch something else. But if you enjoy music, if you like to make some music of your own, you're at the right place. Welcome back to my channel. This is Yap. So let me just give you the like a quick big bullet points first, and then I'm gonna dive into it. The first thing is you need to find a chord progression. That's how I do it a lot of times, because melody can come to my mind and then I puzzle in the chords, but a lot of times I'm just noodling, for example. And I play with different rhythm, sometimes finger picking. So that's the first thing. Sometimes I do this for like 45 minutes straight if I find something I like. For example, the Missing Home that I released a few weeks back, I just like this chord and melodic chord progression. So just two chords. And I play this, and then I sing with shades walking on seaside, and then this became a song. And so that's the first thing. Now, if you play like different instruments, like especially keyboards or pianos are great. It might be better than guitar for songwriting. But if you just find the chord, so let's practice that. The first part. Oh, I actually didn't give you the bullet points. The second part is you need to kind of hum with it. And then you need to record that on the phone, the voice app, which I use. I'll show you later too. And then the other big bullet point is that, and then the words that comes off your tongue, what it sounds like, it doesn't have to make sense. Like if you look at like Beatles song, Come Together, those lyrics don't make any sense. Walrus something gumboot he got, oh no side, whatever, And then you basically repeat what you have, which might be the verse or which might be the chorus or bridge. If you keep doing that so long, you get bored. I mean, that's when I come up with slightly different part or completely different part within the same song. So then the new part becomes like chorus or vice versa. And so that's how I approach it, because I get bored when the verse and chorus have very similar vibe. A lot of songwriters want that because they want that sort of like consistent feel. But for me, I rather hear something else surprising during the chorus part, because 3-4 minutes of song can be pretty long if it's all the same, and that's where I get bored. So to fix that, I basically repeat, and when I get bored, I come up with something else within that key, or sometimes I even change the key too. We can talk about that another time, but I don't want to go into too in depth on that. And then the other part is that I focus on what sounds good to my ears. What makes me feel good. There's certain guitar playing that makes you feel good. For example, like so I have a song. I'm working on this song, so you'll probably hear in about, I don't know, 3-4 months. But what makes your ears pleased, your heart pleased, your soul pleased. That's what I focus on. Sometimes I try to imitate like Beatles, and that's okay in my opinion. How many bands have imitated Beatles? And I sometimes try to sound like Oasis. I mean, I like Oasis. It's great. Major third, which is actually creep, is the same way. And every fool will look you in the eye. Same thing, from G to B7. So sometimes I'll use those chords to sound like Oasis or, Radiohead. And the other thing is, I try to like completely shut off the music theory. If you take some music theory classes or composition classes, I remember I actually took some, and there's certain rules that they keep talking about, and they make it sound like if you don't follow these rules, the songs wouldn't come out right. Those need to be completely ignored, in my opinion. Unless you want to write like, I don't know, kind of like a kind of middle average song that doesn't excite you. So, for example, what could be a good example? Yeah, here's an example. So this is a song that I wrote a long time ago, decades ago. So you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful. If you look at the chord, E, F sharp major, G, and A major. So there are four major chords, almost like chromatic, but it's not quite chromatic. Two major, 1.5 step major, and then 2.5 step major. So it's music theory wise, some smart people out there may be able to, articulate this, but I have no idea what this is. It just made me feel good watching a movie called, I think it was called something about Mary, Cameron Diaz with Ben Stiller. I got this sort of like song melody from it. So this song doesn't fit in music theory. I ignored that, and I still like this song, And then the last bullet point is that if you do it every day, when I was most productive was when I sat down for 2 hours every morning. It was during like pandemic time. And a lot of good things came out of pandemic for me in some way. There are bad things too, but when you do it every day, you get into this rhythm, and then something good comes off of your tip of your tongue in like 2 weeks. So the consistency, be able to just have one desk space with a notebook, your phone, and guitar and pen, and you do that every day, I think that's when some magic happens. So those are the big bullet points. So let's dive into it from the first one. The first one is a guitar and humming combination. That's how I write. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna use D and G and A. So these three are basic chords. D goes like this, right? And G goes like this. A. Yeah. And I'm going to try for maybe a minute. You might get bored, but I'm basically going to show you. Not quite. So I don't know if you noticed, but I played the D chord one bar which means 4 beat, but then I play G chord 2 bars, 8 beats, and then last to 1, 2, 2 beats on chord A. So this is one trick that I use. I basically change the length of the chords instead of doing 2 bar, 2 bar, 2 bar, 2 bar. It's too boring for me. So let me see if I can come up with something on top of that. 2, So if I like that, which I kind of like, a little country, right? I'm country sometimes. What I do is I basically open up this app called the Voice Memos on iPhone. I'm sure Android has its own too. So I basically open up and press record. And then I go record basically. So, I don't know if you noticed, the second time I even made the melody completely different than the first one. Kind of jumped up, kind of higher range, and then the last one, A chord played 2 beats. So the way I can tell is when you play and sing, sometimes I have a hard time hearing it, whether it's good or not. So I basically listen to it. And then I go record basically. Right. And then all of a sudden I hear something else. Then what I do is I do the edit. If you press these 3 dots, there's edit recording. When you do edit recording, it goes into the last part where you can keep adding onto it and you can pause, which is beautiful actually. So if you click resume, so now and then I hear all of a sudden like Bonnie Raitt's song, "Da-da-da, to love me if you don't," right? Not that I'm going to, but I can imitate her because I love the feel. So, so it has to go to the G chord, which is the 4th chord, and then you record. So what I just did is I made, I guess, chorus like, I don't know, pre-chorus. Well, this is chorus. So, and then I saved the recording and then I listened to it again to see the second part. I mean, it sounds okay to me. The other trick is that if you listen to that the next day or when you go to sleep, I actually listen to many of these when I go to sleep because sometimes it makes me fall asleep because, oh, it's so boring, so boring, so boring, I'm out, you know. And when you listen to it at another time, you can actually tell whether you like it or not. Like I listened to something that I made like 2 years ago, and I'm still like, oh, I like that one. Then I go back and I pull that out and I try to complete that song into a more complete song. And so, does this make sense? And some may say, well, yeah, I mean, you can do that because you've been doing it so long, but I can't think of melody when I play guitar. I'm too busy playing guitar. And this is where I think this has to be taught in the very beginning of any guitar instructions, in my opinion, which is playing and humming at the same time. This is so important. This might be the most important part if you're thinking about you want to write a song, you want to learn how to write a song. What I mean by that is when you play guitar, you need to just make noise from your mouth. So let's say I'm complete beginner, I'm learning chords, C. Sounds like that, right? At first. And C. I just sang a fifth note, but C, which is third open string. And then you learn a chord and keep singing the G note. See? I played 3 chords with 1 note singing. It sounded terrible the way I sang, but I'm trying to imitate the beginner. You need to practice that. If you practice that, melodies will come up. In fact, just 1 note. And then put different rhythms to it. Instead of one long note, if you cut it, put the rhythm into the melody, which is another. I actually sang A there. Or let's say E, which is third note on C. I mean, 1 note with a little bit of rhythmic value added on, you can actually make a whole verse. I don't know how to make a song, but if I do this every day, I can learn how to make a song. Do you follow? And so that's how you're able to make melodies when you're singing. When you're playing guitar. So when you pick up guitar, when you learn, start singing because it's more fun. It's very therapeutic, guys. So let's move on. The next point. So start humming. We've done recording. We've done like multiple take and using the pause button to add on different section. And sometimes I would just keep recording different versions of it without editing. And a lot of times I'll find like 5 or 10 different files because I keep doing it. I don't like that. I keep doing it. So this is when Rick Rubin, one of the best producers in the world, he says this is a creating mode, which means you don't want to waste your time on editing. When you are in the flow of making just constant noise, melody, chord progression, whatever, trying to find that, you just like make a big mess. You just keep writing and then you can edit later. But if you keep focusing on editing to make it pretty, you miss out on the raw, like creative mode of making things. So I hope I'm recording this because this is the best part that I'm sharing with you. I mean, I need to charge you for this. No, I'm kidding. So when you do that, you can get a bunch of ideas, and then when you have different files, and then you can kind of think about adding different things into one file, edit it in, and then it becomes like a 1 minute and 30-second clip that you listen to it, and then that. Now, how I come up with the lyrics, this is where there are two approaches, I think. Sometimes certain melodies will kind of keep bringing up certain words. Let's see if I can come up with that. Well, favorite is California, right? California comes so nicely on the tip of your tongue. I guess it's horrible. And then, like, do you see what I'm saying? So when you like hum and with the rhythm and staccato with the let that make just babbling sound, sometimes certain words will come. Did you hear the side of the road just came up? If you listen to the beginning part of the song that I tried earlier, it will be completely different. I know so. And so the idea is having like bunch of different versions of feel. It doesn't have to be the same. You can have like 20 of these clips, and then you can find one you like the best. And that's how I come up with words a lot of times. And I try to focus on the words with some emotions that comes out of me, or imagery, so that missing home. No shades walking on seaside. So I was in seaside walking there by myself, and I missed my home. I'm from South Korea. I really did. I missed my family, and it's like it was a very emotional day that day. But that's the sort of like what I connected those riffs with that moment. So I basically took myself into that beach in seaside, beach walk, and I just started writing down, I was walking, no shoes, walking on the east side, cold wind, cold waves bring me this old memory. So that's the lyrics. And you can listen to that on I'm going to put the link of my new album. You can listen to that song. And you can kind of see how I wrote the song. And then sometimes I want to try to put in a message. Like, for example, out of songs that are recorded, Make It Shine. I think it's second track maybe. Let me see. It's kind of nice to have my own sort of a website here on Bandcamp. Make It Shine is the second track on my album. So it's basically I sang it for myself to like cheer me up when I wake up in the morning. Look in the mirror, look in my eyes, and you know that it's going to be a great day. Just radiate your best energy and make it shine. If I'm a writer, write something good, something light, something that gets rid of sadness. So rise and shine, today will be a great day. Look into my eyes, I will be my own superstar. I see, verse goes, generate rays of light, radiate all around. So that's a message to me. That's a message to writers out there. Maybe one of you. I call the lighters. So it's kind of like people who make things better, who people who are, courageous enough to say what they want to say, and those people who write music, stories, books, movies. There's so many dark messages are out there, and I personally think that we need more lighter message, more happier. I'm like a rom-com kind of guy. Movies like I Love You Man or Notting Hill. I can watch it like Jerry Maguire. I can watch those movies like 5, 6, 7 times. Moneyball. Not so much of dark, killing, ghosts, horror movies. And I want to see more brighter stuff in the world. That's the message of that song called Make It Shine. And so that's how I come up with words. Let's move on to the next point. The fourth point was really when you play the simple stuff over and over again, I get so bored and I come up with the different variations of those chords or mix and match, like shuffle the sequence of the chords or like inverse the melody or like do a counterpoint. You can do anything. Think of it as like you're playing in the sandbox. Who cares? Who really cares what you make? You can make a big old hole, or you can make a castle. You can make a path. You can make a, bad words. You write the bad words. It doesn't matter. And so that's the beauty of it. That's what I love about songwriting because you can do anything. You can do anything. You can say, sing, play anything. It is freedom. And so that's how I come up with different parts. That's the fourth point here. The fifth point is, as I mentioned earlier, that I focus on what sounds good to me. What pleases my ear, eye, heart, soul, body, my feet, my fingertip, my hair, my eyelid. It's whatever makes me feel good is where I'm going to. Does that make sense? And that's what you should do too, because somebody said it might have been Rick Rubin again. Something like, if nobody likes your art, at least you're gonna like it. So if nobody likes my song, somebody wrote on my YouTube shorts, the person wrote garbage. I'm like, whatever. He can say whatever he want to say. That actually makes me think, but is it garbage? Why do you always make me waiting for you? If somebody thinks that this part is garbage, that's their opinion. We're living in free society, free speech world, so that's fine. But I don't think so. I like it because it takes me back to when I wrote the song and I know what it was about, and so I like it. So that's what you need to focus on, in my opinion. If you want to write a song, just write for yourself. I write for myself. If I make some money from this, that would be awesome. If I get super famous, that would be fine. But at the end of the day, I don't like this saying, but I don't know why I said it. I am doing it because I like doing it now. And the other part is that I don't want to regret later in my life that I didn't do it. That's one of the worst fears so I want to try it now when I'm like a middle-aged guy. And I don't want to. And somebody said there's so many songs in graves, a lot of song ideas, people who were songwriters, they were just not courageous enough to put them out there, and then those songs went with them when they died. They're in graves. And I don't want that. And so that pushes me a lot more too. Whenever I have a song idea, I'm like, fuck it. Let's just get it out there. Who cares? nobody will care. But at least I can say, hey, I made this. It didn't exist last week, but I put my name on it and I shipped it off. It is such a releasing freedom. It's like going to the bathroom almost. Just releasing, you know. Anyways, yeah. So, and then the last part is doing it every day. As I mentioned, having a routine is, I think, really important. And looking back at some of my, the favorite notes. Oh, one of the beautiful part about this voice memo is that you can move into different folder. So I have a favorite folder, and then I have different song titles. There are clips of one song, and then if you just put a heart by sliding to your right, it goes into this favorite. I have about 240 favorites right now, and a lot of them are actually really good. And so I just need to go back to some of them when I'm in the mood. I gotta make that into a more of a complete song, because this is just pieces of ideas. And I mean, theoretically, if I work on all these songs, I'll have 240 songs ready to go. But then I need to focus on keep making, which means in the morning when I get up, just like my brain is like waking up, I just sit down and just play some, and something good comes, and it's like keep doing it. That's one big mistake that I made when I tried to do music professionally in my 20s. I was getting adjusted, language-wise, culturally when I moved into United States. I had about a handful of songs, and I did a lot of gigs. I made some good money too, but I didn't keep writing. That was the biggest problem, because without the creation engine, the music career can go so long. That's what I learned at later time after I had my kids. I didn't have time to make music and doing gigs. And now looking back, I think really artists need to keep making art, and the rest of the things, doing promotion, the gigging, all those things are important, but without making the creating engine, it can't go that far, I don't think. That's my opinion. So, you got my, I mean, this is as honest opinion of my own songwriting process. I hope this helps you. It'd be great if you write a song because of this video. Let me know, please. I'd love to hear it. And if you have any questions about any of these parts, just let me know. And I'll try to do my best to kind of explain to you. And let's see, lastly, if you like acoustic music, what I just did, I sang like two, maybe three of my songs. I'll put the link below and go check out. You can listen to it for free for like 2 or 3 songs. If you buy it, that would be awesome. What else? That's all I got for right now. Ooh, my face is all like hot. I pour my soul into you guys. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe at least, please. And I'll see you on the next video. Keep writing.